Hey, how's it going? I made a thing in the shop yesterday. Well, I made two things in the shop yesterday to help me do something. And these two things are to help me twist wires together to make these bracelets much more consistent and easy. It doesn't help me with the ends, but it makes this part a lot easier. It also allows me to make this guy much easier and more reliably. And I'm going to bring you along for that. Now, this piece started out as a much larger piece, and you'll see that in the picture. And I'm going to start the video now so you can see what I did. So in the lathe, we're going to use the cutoff tool to make it smaller. And then I didn't calculate everything right, so I had to use a hacksaw. Let's go me. And we're going to flip it around, and we're going to bring this shaft down to about a ½ inch. ½ inch because it's the largest size I could fit into a drill. And still be able to like grab a vice grip if I want to do some manual twisting with it. And then we're going to flip around the part, and we're going to make this face nice. And then we have to trim this down so we're not drilling as much into it. We don't need that much space on it to do it. Effectively. Now, the hardest part about this is laying out these holes. And so you figure out what you want like the radius to be, and you keep that, and then you plot each point around it. And that's what you're going to see me doing here. So long as you keep your calipers measured, you'll do a you'll do a hexagon shape, and just center punch them. And then we're going to go over to the drill here in a second. Now that we're at the drill, we're going to do the peck drilling. And we're only going down about a ½ inch. And part of the reason why we're only going down a ½ inch is because if this, you probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but if as we're drilling down and that little drill bit gets at the bottom of it, if it were to break out, it would tend to go out and it would try to break inside of that hole. So we just did a blind hole, and then we're going to countersink them, make them look pretty. And then we have to come in afterward to expose the bottom of the hole so that the wire can pass all the way. I made it to my desk. I had to make some changes. I had to bring that flat section back a little bit further so that when we're actually putting in these wires, they can go in far enough, and then we can take a hose clamp and clamp them all down. And then on the other end, you'll put them into this piece, and then you can get your tension correct on the piece that's loaded into the vise. Just a quick heads up for me in the future. This is my first attempt at doing that. I thought I was going to be able to come in from the back. I thought that was the best way to do it. I thought I had a tool to do it. Turns out I do not. So I flipped it around, and I did it the way that I should have done it in the first place. And for this operation, we're just skimming it down until we expose enough of the holes so that we can taper the bottom of it. So as we're pushing the wires in, they will fold out. Really that's just so that we have enough meat so that I know that I'm not going to break this, because I don't ever want to try and have to make this specific one ever again. And right there you can see I just broke through. So I'm adjusting the angle so I can get deeper into that groove, and then I'm going to switch tools so I can actually get into that corner and really create that taper. And then as always, make sure that you finish your work. This is literally just to put a nicer finish on it. I had screwed it up. And now we're going to deburr it, because it's important to be able to touch the things that you just made. And speaking of which, I'm about to figure out... Oh wait, no, I already did that part. But it's always important to clean up your lathe. I do not use an air gun. I know some people do. It shoves crap under your ways, so I like to do it with just a brush. And here's me testing it. So as you can see, I'm going to straighten them out, and then I can feed each wire into the mandrel. So I'm feeding it into this piece, and then I'm going to twist the back of them to lock them in, and then I can put it into this piece, twist these together, and then I can go and make this. or something like that.
Ooh, consistency.
So it worked out really good, and I hope you guys gained something from this. So y'all have a good one, and have a good day.